Dear children, in this video we are going to see about the second chapter, which is called complex numbers. So far you have known that a set of numbers as natural number, whole number, integers, rationals, irrationals and real. Have you heard about the complex numbers? No. So in your earlier classes you have learnt only these numbers: natural, whole, integer, rational, irrational and real numbers. The number starting from 1 to infinity is defined as natural number and it is denoted by n. After the invention of 0, it is included and that set is called set of all whole numbers, which is denoted by w. Then after getting the negative numbers, that is also included, and then the entire set is called set of all integers, which is denoted by z. Then next comes the next set, rationals, the set of all rationals denoted by the letter q, which contains fractions. Rational means fractions. You know that fraction can be written as a decimal. There are two types of decimals, which are terminating as well as non-terminating and recurring decimals. Here terminating decimal means 7 by 8, that is 0.875. That means after a finite steps it will end. Non-terminating and recurring means it never ends, but the same number will repeatedly come. So such decimals are called rationals. So that set is called Q. Then there are also some numbers, non-decimal numbers, which are non-terminating and non-recurring. Where do we come across these non-decimal means? In square root, cube root, nth root, etc. we come across such decimals. So these numbers are termed as irrationals, which is denoted by q0. Then all the numbers together constitute a set called set of all real numbers, which is denoted by r. In short, we can say r is the union of q and q0. So natural number is the smallest set, which is contained in the whole number, and it is contained in z, and it is contained in q, and it is contained in r. So far you have learnt that r is the biggest set. Now this year you are going to see one more set, which is the biggest set of all, and that set is called set of all complex numbers, which is denoted by the letter c. That means c is the biggest set, which is a superset of all the above sets. So we are going to see about complex numbers in this chapter. So students, you have learned, you have studied about how to find out the square root of positive numbers, but you have never heard about the square root of negative numbers. So for that, let us see a number called imaginary number, that is which is denoted by I. So before entering into the before reading about complex numbers, first of all we have to learn about this new number called imaginary number, which is denoted by I. So what is this I? Square root of -1 is denoted by I. So you never heard about negative square root of a negative number. So that's why they have defined square root of -1 is I. That means that when you square it, I squared will be equal to -1. So this I is called imaginary number and its value is root of -1. So what will be I squared? I squared is equal to -1. So this going to take an important part in the complex number. Now let us consider some equations. Quadratic equation. X squared plus 9 is equal to 0. So let us solve this. So how will you find out the solution? X squared is equal to -9. So taking square root, x is equal to plus or minus root of -9. Now here we come across this root of a negative number. Now how to find its value means we can split this as root 9 into root of -1, as by the rule root of AB is equal to root A into root B, where at least one should be non-negative. If both are negative, we cannot find out. If at least one is non-negative, we can split this as root A into root B. So according to that rule, root 9 can be split up as root 9 into 1, that is root 9 into root of -1. Root 9 is nothing but 3, but this root of -1 is denoted as the imaginary number I. So let us replace this root of -1 as I. So they can be. So what is the solution of this equation? X is equal to plus or minus 3 into I. Now similarly, consider the another equation, x squared plus 7 is equal to 0. So x squared is equal to minus 7, or x is equal to plus or minus root of minus 7. So again root of minus 7, this can be split up as 7 into root 7 into minus 1. Root of minus 7 can be split up as 7 into minus 1, that is root 7 into root of minus 1, which is nothing but 7 into I. So one more equation, x squared plus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. So this cannot be factorized. So let us use the formula. So using the formula method, x is equal to minus b, that is minus 3, plus or minus root of b squared, that is 3 squared 9, minus 4ac, 4 into 1 into 5, 20, divided by 2a, 2 into 1, 2. Then that is on simplification, minus 3 plus root of minus 11 by 2. So minus 2 as usual, my root of minus 11 can be written as root 11 into I. That is minus 3 by 2 plus or minus root 11 by 2 into I. In all the three examples, we have the solution as a number with along with the I. So such numbers are called imaginary numbers. They are not real numbers. So whenever you come across a number with I, that is in a square root, negative number in square root, such numbers are called imaginary numbers. So the numbers with the I, that is imaginary numbers, are called complex numbers. So do you understand the meaning of complex number? So the numbers whichever involves the imaginary number I are called complex numbers. So in the previous examples, we saw that the solution are plus or minus 3i plus or minus root 7i, 3 by 2 plus or minus root 11 by 2i. So all the 6 here, plus 3i minus 3i, plus root 7i minus root 7i, 3 by 2 plus root 11 by 2i, 3 by 2 minus root 11 by 2i. So totally 6 numbers are here. All the 6 numbers are called complex numbers. So the numbers involving the imaginary number I are called complex numbers. So where do we come across this I? The I is nothing but root of minus 1. So when we have a negative number inside the root, then we have I, and such numbers are called complex numbers. So any number of the form a plus bi is called a complex number. So this a is called the real part and the number b is called the imaginary part. So in this example, plus 3i, real part is 0 and imaginary part is 3. And look at this example, minus 3i, here the real part is 0 and imaginary part is minus 3. In this one, 3 by 2 plus root 11 by 2 into I, real part is 3 by 2 and imaginary part is root 11 by 2. So do you understand this? So complex number means you should not think that it should not have any real part or only imaginary part or only real part. It may have both the parts, real part as well as the imaginary part. So a complex number of the form, complex number is a number of the form a plus ib, and any complex number of this form is denoted by the small letter z. That is, z is equal to a plus ib, and the set of all such numbers is called complex numbers. So we are going to see in detail about the properties and the addition, subtraction, how to add, how to subtract, and all other properties about complex numbers in detail in the next video. So before going to the before going to that part, we have to know some properties of I, the imaginary number I. So let us see the powers of I, how to find out the power of I and what would be its value and so on. We know that I squared is equal to minus 1 as root of minus 1 is equal to I. Now let us see what would be the powers, other powers of I. We know that I power 1 is equal to I, okay. Then I power 2 is equal to minus 1. Now what is I power 3? I power 3 is equal to I squared into I. We can split this as I squared into I. I squared is minus 1. So minus 1 into I, which is equal to minus I. Now what is I power 4? That is I squared into I squared. We can split 4 as 2 into 2. So I power 2 into I power 2. I power 2 is minus 1. So minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1. So let us conclude the powers here at anything to the power 0 is 1. So I power 0 is equal to 1 obviously. I power 1 is equal to I power 2 is equal to minus 1. I power 3 is equal to minus I and I power 4 is equal to 1. Okay. Now let us see what happened to the next powers. I power 5 equal to, we can split this 5 as 4 plus 1. So by the exponential rule, it can be again split up as I power 4 into I power 1. Now what is I power 4? I power 4 is equal to 1. So if you split the higher powers higher than 4 as 4 or multiples of 4 plus some number, it would be easy for us to find a value. So I have split this 5 as 4 plus 1 as I power 4 is equal to 1. So I power 4 is 1. So 1 into I is I. So easily we can find out the value of any power of I if we split this power as a multiples of 4 plus its remainder. Then I power 6. So what is it? It can be split up as 4 plus 2. Multiples of 4 is 4 and then it is 4 plus 2. So I power 4 into I squared. I power 4 is 1. It is easily 1 into I squared. I squared is minus 1. So it is equal to minus 1. Then I power 7. Again, it can be split up as 4 plus 3. I power 4 into I cube. I power 4 is 1. So it is I cube. But I cube is minus 1. So it is equal to minus I. I power 8. That is nothing but I power 4 the whole square. That means 4 2s are 8. So we can power as a power to the power rule. We can multiply the powers. So it can be written as I power 4 the whole square. I power 4 is 1. 1 square is equal to 1. So summarizing the result, we have I power 5 is equal to I power 6 is equal to minus 1, I power 7 is equal to minus I, and I power 8 is equal to 1. So see, the same values get repeated. I power 1 and I power 5 are same, I power 2 and I power 6 are same, I power 3 and I power 7 are same, I power 4 and I power 8 are same. So the same 4 values get repeated again and again. Again let us see, similarly what would be I power 9? I power 4 the whole square, that is, it can be it can be split as a multiples of 4 plus 1. So 1 into I, that is I power 10 is again multiple of 4, 8 plus 2. So I power 4 the whole square, it is obviously 1. 1 into I squared is equal to I square, that is minus 1. Similarly, we have I power 9 is equal to I power 10 is equal to minus 1, I power 11 is equal to minus I power 12 is equal to 1. So the same 4 values gets repeated. So what does that imply? That whatever the powers, the same only I power, if whatever the power for n, only 4 values will get repeated. That is I, minus 1, minus I and 1. So these 4 values will get repeated for I power, I to the any power. So I power n can take only 4 possible values, I, minus 1, minus I and 1. So how will you find out which one is I, which one is minus 1 and which one is minus I and which one is 1 if the n is too big? So there is a rule that according to the reminders, when n is divided by 4, we get the values I, minus 1, minus I and plus 1. So if the remainder is 0, then I power n will be equal to 1. If the remainder is 1, then I power n is equal to I. If the remainder is 2, then I power n will be equal to minus 1. And if the remainder is 3, then I power n is equal to minus I. So let us explain this by using the here. Now look at this, I power 9. When it is divided by 4, the remainder will be 1. So it is equal to I. Then when it is 10, if it is divided by 4, the remainder is 2. If the remainder is 2, it is equal to minus 1. Then I power 11. When 11 is divided by 4, the remainder will be 3. If the remainder is 3, I power n is equal to minus I. So again we have minus I here. Then I power 12, it is divisible by 4. The remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, then I power n is equal to 1. So in this way, we can find out the power of y, whatever the power may be. Right? So the same 4 values will get repeated. And how will you find out the value of I power n? If n is too big, divide n by 4 and look at the remainder. And then if the remainder is 0, then it will be equal to 1. If it is 1, it will be equal to I. If it is 2, it is equal to minus 1. And if it is 3, it is equal to minus I. So for odd, the numbers, if the remainders are odd numbers, 1 and 3, it will be I and minus I. If the remainders are even, that is 0 and 2, it will be 1 and minus 1. So first positive and then negative. So in this way, you can remember the values. Now let us see what happened to the sum of 4 numbers with the consecutive powers. That is I power 1, I power 2, I power 3, I power 4. Look at the powers, all they are consecutive integers. So by adding the imaginary numbers with the consecutive powers, the values will always be equal to 0. As the 1 minus 1 minus I, 1 will be the value. So the summation will be equal to 0. So can look at this next example, I power 17 plus I power 18 plus I power 19 plus I power 20. So when we divide this by 4, the remainder is 1. So it will be equal to I. If it is divided by 4, the remainder will be equal to 2, that is equal to minus 1. And again here the remainder will be 3 minus I, and this will be divisible by 4, remainder is 0, so it is 1. So the summation will be equal to 0. So again not even 17 to 20, even if you start with 16, 17, 18, 19. So the sum of 4 numbers with the consecutive, with the numbers having the powers as a consecutive integers, its value will always be equal to 0. So whatever the number may be, but all the numbers are consecutive, the 4 numbers are consecutive, then their sum will always be equal to 0 as the numbers gets repeated. Now also for the negative powers. Now so far we have learnt about the positive powers. Now let us see what happens to the negative power of I. So what is I power minus 1? That is nothing but 1 by I. So like surds, let us multiply I and to the numerator as well as to the denominator. So what happens to the numerator? 1 into I. Denominator will be I squared. You know that I squared is equal to minus 1. So it will be equal to minus I. So I power minus 1 is equal to minus I. Next, I power minus 2. So this is nothing but 1 by I squared. You know that I squared is minus 1. So 1 by minus 1, which is equal to minus 1. Similarly, I power minus I is equal to 1 by I cube. I cube is minus I. So the denominator is an imaginary number I. So to get its value, let us multiply again by I and divided by I. So numerator will be I and denominator will be minus I squared. As I squared is equal to minus 1, 1 into minus 1, or minus into minus 1 will be plus 1, and that is equal to I. And then I power minus 4 is equal to 1 by I power 4. I power 4 is 1, so it is easily equal to 1. So if you note that, you can notice that for negative powers, if it is odd, I power minus 1 and I power minus 3, the value will be negative of its positive integer. That is, I power 1 is equal to I, but I power minus 1 is equal to minus I. It's negative. Similarly, I cube is equal to minus I, but I power minus 3 is equal to plus I. It's negative. But for even powers, the value will be same. So we can take it that I power minus 1 will be equal to I power n if n is an even power. And if it takes is the negative of its value if n is odd. So we can use it while doing problems, right? Now let us see some examples. So far you have learnt that how to find out the powers of I if power is more than 4. So remember, divide the power by 4. Divide the power by 4 and find out the remainder. If the remainder is 0, then its value will be 1. And if the remainder is 1, its value will be I. Remainder is 2 minus 1 and remainder is 3 minus I. So for odd even numbers, 1 minus 1, and for odd numbers it will be I and minus 5. First positive and then negative. So in this way you have to remember the values. Now let us see some examples. Example 2.1 is how to simplify, that is to find out the answer. First problem is I power 7. So what would be what is the step? You have to take the power 7 and divide it by 4 and write it as find out the remainder. So it is 4 ones are 4 plus 3, 4 plus 3. Then we can split I power 4 into I power 3. I power 4 always be equal to 1. So just you can skip it off and you can take the remainder I power 3. I power 3 is equal to minus 5. That's all. Then I power 1729 is a very big number. So you have to divide it by 4. So it can be, while dividing, it is 432. When you divide, you will get the quotient as 432. So 1729 and the remainder is 1. So we can write it as 4 into 432 plus 1. So whatever the number may be, it will be, the value is going to be 1 as it is a multiple of 4. So we don't bother about the quotient. So leave it. So look at the remainder, it will be the answer. So y power 1 will be, I power 1729 will be equal to I power 1 will be. 1 will be, and then what is I power 1, which is equal to I. Then I power minus 1924 plus I power 2018, negative. For negative powers, look at the rule. If the power is odd, then it will be equal to minus of I power n, right? If it is negative 1 by I power, instead of finding 1 by I power n, let us find out I power n and write down take its value with the minus sign, multiply it with the minus. So I power minus, and but it is even, it will be equal to the same. Positive as well as negative, the power, the value will be same. So 1924 is an even number. So I power minus 1924 is equal to I power 1924. So we can write it as I power 1924 plus I power 2018. Now divide it by 4. It will be 4 into 4, 4, 16, balance 3, 8, and then remainder 1, and then remainder is 0. So it is exactly divisible by 4. So the remainder is 0. Again here the remainder will be 2. So leave the quotient part, because whatever bigger number may be, it will be, the value will be equal to 1 always. So leaving that, it will be I power 0 and I square. I power 0 is 1 and I squared is minus 1. So totally on adding these two, the value will be 0. So the value of the problem is 0. Next example, sigma n is equal to 1 to 100 and I power n. Sigma means summation. So on substituting n is equal to 1 to 102, we are going to find its value. So I power 1, I power 2, I power 3, I power 4, I power 5, I power 6, I power 7, I power 8, etc. to I power 100, I power 101, I power 102. But let us group the numbers as 4 by 4. Okay. So on grouping, the last two I power 101 and I power 102 will be left out. Why we are grouping this? Because by the addition, the summation of powers of I, the summation of numbers with the consecutive powers, the summation will be equal to 0. So that's why we have grouped 4 numbers. So whatever it may be, the value will be equal to 0. Whatever the powers may be, the value will be equal to 0, because as they are consecutive. So everything will be 0. The left out is I power 101 and I power 102. Now 101. So it can be expressed as a 4 into 25 plus 1, and then 102, while dividing it by 4, it will be 4 into 25 plus the remainder is 2. So taking the remainder part, I power 1 and I power 2. I power 1 is I and I squared is minus 1. So it will be minus 1 plus I. So while writing a number, always write the real part first and then the imaginary part. So this is a complex number, minus 1 plus I. All the numbers are complex numbers. So it contains a real part. Minus 1 and imaginary part is also 1. Next example is I into I squared into I cube, etc. to I power 40. So while multiplying this, the powers are to be added. So I power 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. to 40. So we know that the summation of first n natural number is n into n plus 1 by 2. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. 40 is equal to 40 into 41 by 2, or it is I power 820. So let us simplify it by, divide it by 4 to find out the remainder. As it is exactly divisible, the remainder is 0, which is equal to I power 0, that is equal to 1. So instead of, if the remainder is 0, immediately you can write 1 instead of writing the step I power 0. Directly you can write it as 1 if the remainder is 0. That means the power is exactly divisible by 4. So these are some examples. I think it will be clear the powers of, how to find out the powers of I. So a number, complex number is nothing but it contains two parts, a real part and a imaginary part. Imaginary part means a number with I. That means the value of I is root of minus 1. So if you come across a number in the square root with a negative number in the square root, such numbers are called complex numbers. So here some exercise problems are given, and then I have tried only So here the exercise problem, I have given the questions in the exercise 2.1 and I have worked out only 1 or 2 and the remaining try it at your home. Now second one, I power 1948 minus I power minus 1869. I power 1948, what would be its value? Let us find out. So as per the rule, divide the power by 4. So it is a multiple of 487 and the remainder is 0. So that is equal to 1. So no need to write I power 0 directly. You can write 1 if the remainder is 0. Then I power minus 1869. So it is an odd number. Odd number means its value will be equal to minus of I power positive. It's a positive 1869. So I power, divide this 1869 into 4. So it is a multiple of 467 and the remainder is 1. So it will be equal to I power 1 as it I power 4 into 467 is going to be 1. So I power 1 is I, that is equal to minus I. So the value of the given expression is 1 minus of minus I, which is equal to 1 plus I. So it is a complex number whose real part is 1 and imaginary part is 1. Now let us see the sixth question. Sigma n is equal to 1 to 10 I power n plus 15. That is I power, substituting n is equal to 1, it will be 51, 2, 52, up to 10. On substituting n is equal to 10, it will be 60. So you are going to find out the sum. So whatever the powers may be, the consecutive powers of 4 consecutive powers together will make 0. So let us group this into first 4 and the next 4 and the balance 2. So this is going to be 0, whose sum is going to be 0 as the powers are consecutive numbers. And then again this is 0. The remaining one is 59 and 60. Again divide it by 4. So it will be a multiple of 14 and the remainder is 3. And it is exact multiple of 4. So the remainder is 0. So I power 3, that is nothing but minus I. I power 0 is equal to 1. So it will be 1 minus I. So writing the real part first and then the imaginary part. This is the way to write a complex number. So here the real part is 1 and the imaginary part is minus 1. So while saying the imaginary part, you shouldn't say about I. So it's coefficient only. So the imaginary part is minus 1. So in this way, try to work out the remaining problems 1, 3, 4 and 5. So here while doing the fifth problem, adding the powers, it will be 1 plus 2 plus etc. to 2000. So apply the formula 2000 into 2001 by 2 and dividing it will be some 1000 into 2001. So no need to multiply everything. It will be divisible by 4 and the remainder will, as it last, if the number ends with 2 zeros, it will be divisible by 4. So by the rule it is easily you can find out the answer. I have given the answer for all the problems. Check whether you got this one. Thank you. So check down the answers after completing this. Check whether you got the same answer.